Well, today I want to tell you about the latest developments with a classic Disney movie that's likely to be destroyed by wokesters when it's finally released in a month or two. And there's another movie that proves that movie makers and Hollywood are focused purely on indoctrination, not entertainment. But you'd probably already figured that out, eh? So the French-produced Spanish-language musical Emilia Pérez was released on Netflix at the end of last year, and it won big at the Golden Globes last month. Now, when the media critics like and recommend a movie, to me that's always a red flag. It actually currently has a dismal 25% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, or Tomatoes. I'd believe the audience before the critics, although the critics don't seem super keen on it either. Now, Emilia Pérez won Best Film, Comedy or Musical, elevating its Oscar chances, and it also won Best Supporting Actress for Zoe Saldana from the Avatar movies. It won Best Song and Best Non-English Language Film, and it's topped the 2025 Oscar nominations with 13 nods. Well, what's the musical about? It's about a drug cartel leader who seeks a lawyer in order to assist himself in transitioning to a woman. Yes, an evil drug dealer wanting to become a woman to appear more feminine and nicer. There's nothing nicer than a drug dealer. Oh, and push the transgender narrative because, well, it's starting to weaken a little, actually a lot. The transgender narrative is about to fall off a cliff. Now, for obvious reasons, Emilia Pérez has received a wide spectrum of criticism, but one song went viral for all the wrong reasons. Emilia Pérez features a song where a character researches the gender-affirming surgery that Emilia is seeking, and bluntly states, "I'd like to know about sex change operation." The song is called La Vaginoplastia. Well, this translates to what you could probably guess. Crudely speaking, of course, this is cutting a man's private parts off. Have a watch.
Very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation.
I see. Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina. Is it for you?
For me?
What would you like to know about it, madam?
I want to know it all. What is the protocol, the techniques and the risks? How many operations? How much time do you need?
Mammoplasty.
Yes.
Vaginoplasty.
Yes.
Rhinoplasty.
Yes.
Laryngoplasty.
Yes.
Control laryngoplasty.
What is that?
Adam's apple reduction.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, terrible singing, terrible music, terrible theme. And that, folks, is why it won a Golden Globe and is nominated for a number of Oscars. Now, one reviewer from Forbes magazine wrote, "Emilia Pérez is not a good movie, it's not a good crime drama, not a good musical, and by all accounts, not a good representation of the groups it focuses on, namely Mexicans and trans people." And that is also according to many Mexicans and trans people. You see, being woke and making woke movies is actually really difficult because the people you're trying to win over get easily offended. And the lead actor made Golden Globes history as the first transgender woman nominated for Best Female Actor. Yes, you heard that correctly. A biological man won a Golden Globes nomination for Best Female Actor. Now, surprisingly, he didn't win. Shock horror. An actual woman won the Best Female Actor, Demi Moore. But because the movie won an award, he got the chance to speak and drew attention to the colour of his dress, a Buddhist colour. "The light always wins over darkness," Gascon said. Well, Gascon, that light of truth will actually set you free.
Thank you so much. I chose these colors tonight, the Buddhist color, because I have a massive hope for you. The light always wins over darkness.
Yeah, I mean, I pray that one day he can find peace in who he is as created by God. And one other movie that's due out shortly that you'll probably want to avoid. Disney's 1937 animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs follows Snow White as she befriends the Seven Dwarfs while hiding from her wicked stepmother, who later poisons her with an apple before Prince Charming wakes her from her slumber with a kiss. And it, of course, was loosely based on the 1812 fairy tale of the same name by the Brothers Grimm. But Disney, who can no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and who have fairy godmothers who are men in dresses with moustaches, they are now doing a remake of Snow White. I mean, they should really just call it a new name completely rather than destroy a traditional story. Now, let's check it out. Remember, this is the movie as you remember it.
It's a family night special event.
It's home from work we go.
They're the Seven Dwarfs. Doc, bashful, sleepy, sneezy, happy, dopey, and grumpy. She's the fairest one of all.
One day my prince will come.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, well, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is being released on the 21st of March. And it's starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal Gadot as the evil queen. The only issue is that, as you can see, it's not going to be, strictly speaking, Snow White. I mean, where's the diversity in that? I mean, despite the story being built on the fact that she's called Snow White because the story comes from a German tale about a princess with skin as white as snow, a traditionally fair German princess. And we can't have seven dwarfs. I mean, that is bad, unwoke, completely unacceptable. In fact, there will be one dwarf. Disney has changed its approach to the Seven Dwarfs for the live-action edition, casting a diverse set of actors, including reportedly just one actor who has dwarfism, as well as actors of different races. Her new companions appear to be a mix of genders, ethnicities, and heights. So it's partly Snow White or Off-White, one dwarf, and some friends from a local diversity club with pronouns. I mean, woke as. Off-White and the seven pronouns. But apparently an enchanted story from more than 80 years ago must be changed to reflect the new cultural god of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which also is falling off the cliff, by the way, especially this bit about the non-consensual kiss. And I'm not sure you can call people dopey, grumpy, bashful, and sneezy anymore. Now, in fact, I researched those weren't the worst names they considered. It was revealed not too long ago that some of the rejected names for the dwarves included Deafy, Baldy, Sniffy, Lazy, Stuffy, Tubby, Shorty, and Burpy. Now, co-written by the director of the Barbie movie, the upcoming adaptation will not feature a Prince Charming and will instead focus on a stronger Snow White who dreams of becoming a leader. And this is where it all went a bit pear-shaped for Disney, because in an interview with the actor who will be Snow White, she says, and I'll show you it, it's no longer 1937. She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
37 is not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I watched it for the first time in probably 16 17 years. The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
Doesn't she remind you of a certain Greens co-leader called Chloe? Anyway, in a statement that same month, Disney said in an effort to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, it was consulting with members of the dwarfism community to inform its approach to those 7 characters. Now, Dylan Postel, a professional wrestler best known for his days in the WWE as Hornswoggle, criticised the casting for actually getting progressivism backwards. He pointed out that the change puts more little people out of work when considering the number of actors and stunt doubles that could have gotten work from being cast.
So it's not a progression at all to me. My issue with it is exactly what you said. There are actors, dwarf actors, that that dream to be in a major motion picture such as this Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken away. And it's taken away because of quote unquote progression and all of that. And it's not right, because these are roles made for actors of my stature, roles that aren't ever really given. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me. These dwarf roles are for people of my stature. Right. And now it's taken away. I don't feel that.
Yeah. Now, an article in the Daily Mail actually sums up the general trend, which said, the reboot comes as since 2020, Disney has slapped racism warnings on some of its most iconic movies, including Peter Pan, Jungle Book, to alert viewers to sensitive scenes. Movies with warning include the 1970 musicals comedy The Aristocrats, 1955 canine love story Lady and the Tramp, and 1960 adventure Swiss Family Robinson. In relation to The Aristocrats, Disney warns viewers about a scene where one cat, voiced by a white actor, yells out stereotypical Chinese words while playing the piano with chopsticks. Peter Pan viewers are warned that Native American Indians are referred to as Redskins. Disney says scenes in which Peter and the Lost Boys dance in Native American headdresses are a form of mockery and appropriation of Native people's culture and imagery. The Jungle Book has also been highlighted, namely for its prediction of the ape King Louis, which was accused of perpetuating a stereotype of African Americans. And elsewhere, 1941 release Dumbo comes under fire for its reference to racist segregationist laws in the Deep South, as well as its use of affected African American voices. And Lady and the Tramp has been placed on the list due to its perceived stereotyping of Asians, courtesy of Siamese cats Cy and Am, while a dog pound features canines with largely ethnic names and accents. Whew. In fact, here's a good idea of a warning sticker that Disney might start using, tongue-in-cheek, but it's kind of close to the truth. Warning, this movie was made back when people weren't little whiny babies who got offended about everything. They had actual problems and didn't have time to cry about dumb stuff. Now, Elisa McHugh from the Heritage Foundation wrote this: herein lies the contention with the upcoming live-action remake of Snow White. It's not a remake. It's a replacement. It is virtue signalling hidden behind the original title. And adults no longer trust Disney to show their kids virtues and values that align with their own. And yeah, that's the key point, isn't it? Many parents no longer trust Disney, sadly. Elisa continues, the moral of Snow White is that kindness, not vanity, will get you far. Snow White showed kindness to everyone and everything, from nature's creatures to the dwarves who looked different from her. This lesson overshadowed any perceived faults the movie has simply because it was a product of its time. Now, on a lighter note, satire website Babylon Bee broke this news on their website. After mounting criticism from an avalanche of 3 people online, Disney has decided to release a new cut of the classic film Snow White. Sources say the new version will show Prince Charming walking up to the bed where Snow White lies cold and dead under the evil queen's spell. He will then try to get her to wake up so she can sign a consent form. After several unsuccessful attempts, he will walk away like the true feminist hero he is. The movie ends with a time-lapse of Snow White slowly wasting away until she's nothing but dust. Inspiring. We've never seen the movie and don't plan to, said the three people online, but we are pleased Disney has chosen to do the right thing here. Wokesters. Now, just when Disney thought that they might be able to get through all the controversy and start making money out of this remake, our friend Rachel Zegler, who plays almost Snow White or off Snow White, well, she took to Instagram after Trump was elected last November over President Kamala Harris, Vice President, and said the election left her speechless and heartbroken, and that she hoped Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself may never know peace. She went on to say it is terrifying the number of people who stand behind what this man preaches. She continued, it is a foolish subscription to a false sense of security, of masculinity, of intelligence, of patriotism, and of humanity. F this. And she ended the statement writing, F Donald Trump. Good work, Rachel. You've just alienated half the potential audience. Disney must be stoked. Now, she did apologise and said, quote, I let my emotions get the best of me. Hatred and anger have caused us to move further and further away from peace and understanding. And I'm sorry I've contributed to the negative discourse. I firmly believe that everyone has the right to their own opinion, even when it differs from my own. End quote. Well, yeah, you would say that, especially when you want people to come and watch your movie. But Rachel Zegler still has her job. Gina Carano doesn't. Do you remember this? Carano was sacked by Disney in 2021 from her role in The Mandalorian because of her so-called right-wing views on social media. She had been criticised for social media posts because she questioned mask wearing during the pandemic. She raised the issue of voter fraud during the 2020 presidential election. She also rightly rubbished the use of gender pronouns in profiles, and she listed her social media bio pronouns as beep, bop, boop. Now, in a statement, Lucasfilm, which is owned by Disney, said, quote, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Oh, but denigrating people based on voting for Donald Trump is all okay. This is not just about Snow White. It's actually about Disney losing the room, the family room. Anyway, just finally, here's a quick spoof preview of the upcoming almost Snow White movie.
Mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all?
Let's see.
Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex. I don't need anything from someone like you.
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
I'm really sorry. I was just trying to be kind.
Kind? If you want to be kind, disappear and take the patriarchy with you. Seriously, go away, stalker. You're weird. Weird, weird, weird.